Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. Today's episode, I think, is going to be another potpourri of a variety of tasks. Starting over here, this is on the west side of the ore refining area. You can see that I put in a couple of salination plants. These are a relatively new structure to me that we can make now that we've got the concrete and aluminum and brass. That's why we couldn't make it before. But these allow us to make saline water directly from plain water without having to also make purified water at the same time. And the reason I put these here is because I noticed that we were running out of sodium hydroxide for the production of aluminum. This belt had emptied out and the aluminum production had stopped. And the reason for that is that, of course, when the sorting and refining process stops, in this case we're backed up again with stone, which I can show you here. Yeah, so now I've got 3 warehouses full of stone, even though I was using a lot of it to make regular stone. So the crushed stone is backed up once again. And so once this stops, then the pipes fill up with purified water, and then the production of saline water comes to a halt. And I don't necessarily want those two to always be linked. So what I did is I set this up so that I have an underflow valve here. So the saline water from over here is going through this tank, and then it's coming over and entering the pipes here. So if there's no chloric wastewater being purified into saline, and there's no saline from coming over here, then these salination plants will add the saline water. But the way I have this set up with these pipes, it'll always be prioritized to use those other sources before it uses the salination plants, because I don't want this to prevent those others from running. I just want this to be as kind of our backup solution. All right, so I've got those there. Up here, I've added some additional oxygen because our oxygen tank had run dry, and the oxygen consuming processes down on this end, namely the lead, were not getting enough. So what I did is I upgraded these. Before I just had 1 chemical plant and I think 2 air filters. So what I did is I upgraded to 2 Mark III chemical plants. So the Mark III is essentially double the speed of a Mark I. I've got 2 of those now, so we're making 4 times as much oxygen as before. And then I added in enough Mark II air filters to keep those fed nonstop, which in this case is 6. And this unusual arrangement here is just because I didn't have room here for the 6th one. So I put it down there. I'm not super happy with that layout. I suppose I could move everything up farther. But for now, I mean, this is okay. And then I made use of one of my substations to power most of it, except for this last one there. And then, again, I have these running into a storage tank with a non-return valve going in and then coming out with a pump. And then I'm just burning off the nitrogen that we produce from this process. All right, so we've got plenty of oxygen now, and plenty of saline water. Another change I've had to make is in regards to my personal train. Recently I updated it or upgraded it. Where's my train? Oh, okay. I left it way up there. Recently I had upgraded it to use 2 wagons, but the problem that I didn't remember at the time is that when I have a station like this that needs to load items into a particular rail wagon, when you have a one-way or a two-way station like this one, you never know what order those two cars are going to be in. So what happened the first time I came back to the base, it started loading rails and all this stuff into the second cargo wagon. And I didn't really want that to happen. So I just decided to go back to a single wagon. That should be enough. I did go ahead and add, though, the extra iron and steel and stuff like that we had so that we can do crafting when necessary. All right. So in the last episode, we finished setting up train stations for all of these plates. I was informed by somebody that I am sending the bronze into the wrong input. It's not the input that I set the limiter on bronze plates on. So thanks for that correction. I'm going to go fix that now. I should have connected this to the one above it rather than this one. That's brass. This one is bronze. But that's just brass because I copied it from another one. I don't actually want brass in there because the brass is going in this set of warehouses. Okay. And then I got a suggestion to make in this area solder wire coils rather than making solder locally with tin and lead. So let's take a look here. So normally when we're doing circuits, let's see. Yeah, if we want to make solder, we need solder plate and resin. That's the recipe that we have going on in the starter base. So the other way that you can make it is you can make solder coil, which you can then later turn into individual solder pieces. But I think the solder coil is more dense. So I think this would be the output that we want. And that can be made from molten solder and wire or coolant. Now the coolant, I believe, gives us a greater yield. Let me see here. Yeah, so normally 80 molten gives us 4 coils if we use water, which is like 20 molten per coil. And if you use coolant, then you can do it with 140 to 8, which is, well, 8 doesn't really go into 140. But anyway, it's less than 20 per coil. So it's more efficient to use coolant. But I'm not making coolant yet. I wonder if I could do so. And it looks like I would need coal filters. All right, well, tell you what, let's set up the process first. Let's get this, let's try to plan this out and figure out what we can do here. And then I'll ship out the solder coils from here as well. All right, so add a recipe. I want solder coils, which I think is going to be here in casting. There we go. And let's go ahead and do the coolant recipe. It's going to be a little more challenging, but I think it'll be rewarding also. And it'll give us the opportunity to use cooling towers, which I'm not using yet. Okay, and then, you know, I really don't know how much. Okay, if I use one strand casting machine, I'm going to get 4 per second. And that's going to convert into, what, 16 solder pieces per second. I think that's probably going to be enough. So I'll make it for this right now. And if we have to expand it later, we can expand it. Okay, so the molten solder we can make from, we've got a number of options here. It looks like, I mean, it's all an even ratio of ingots in to 10 molten coming out. Whoops. Sorry, I didn't mean to actually select one. So we could make it from lead and tin. We could make it from tin and zinc. Or we can make it from copper, silver, and tin. Now, I don't think I have a lot of use for zinc right now. So I think, well, and I don't have much use for lead either. I mean, what are we using lead plate for besides this? Batteries. That's it. Okay, so we're using lead for batteries and we're using it for solder. Whoops. Okay. And if I make it from ingots, then I use even quantities. I think I'm going to make it from tin and zinc because I'm not really using zinc for anything right now except zinc plates, and I think I only needed that to make some robots or something. Let's see what zinc plates are used for. Okay, that's it. They're used in silver zinc batteries, period. And those are used in what? Yeah, okay, yeah, so we'll make it from zinc. Molten solder, tin and zinc. Okay, and that's in, we can use, looks like we can use one induction furnace Mark II to meet the ratio. Why don't we go ahead and increase this a bit. Okay, and what's the highest level strand casting machine I can make? Mark II. All right, so let's do 2 Mark II strand casting machines. Yeah, and I can make induction Mark IIIs if I need to. Yeah, let's do that. That'll give us probably a lot more than we need, but at least then we won't have to expand it later. Okay, now coolant is the tricky part. How do I make coolant? All right, so we can make it from water and base mineral oil. And then we can make it, and then the used coolant we can recycle somewhat. It looks like we still need a constant supply of the regular coolant. Yeah, so we can turn 100 used into 80. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like you need a constant supply of fresh coolant in order to make that work. Well, is this really going to be worth it? This is going to be a lot of trouble because then I'm going to have to make it. I mean, where I have the base mineral oil is back in the main base. I think I have it back here. Let's see. Yeah, Here's my base for mineral oil. That's what I'm using to make lubricant with. Okay, so I could make, well, and I have a lot of it, I suppose. And if I could get rid of some of the fuel oil, then I would be able to use even more of it. All right, let's do it. Let's do the coolant. All right, so the coolant will make from that. Actually, I think what I want to do, I want to put in the recipe for reprocessing the coolant so that I know how many cooling towers and stuff I'm going to use. All right, so looks like there's 3 stages depending on the temperature. I'm not sure what temperature am I going to get. I don't know. All right, so let's assume it's cooling from 300 degrees. We're going to get used coolant and steam. And it says 0 cooling towers. All right, so I think we're just going to have to wing it. All right, so in the meantime, let's make 2 strand casting machines. For that, I'm going to need to get some more steel. Actually, I can grab it. Well, I'll just go over here. I'm close to the train anyway. There we go. Okay, and then I need 2 Mark III induction furnaces. And then let's see where the cooling towers are. There we go. I suppose I'll just make 1 to begin with, because I don't know precisely how many I'm going to need. Okay, so how many spaces have we got here? 1, 2, I think that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the first strand casting machine will go here. Actually, I will do them. I think I'll do them like this. All right, and then these are going to make solder coil. You know what? I'm just going to do it with water for now. And the reason is just that I'm doing so many things that I haven't done before that I don't want to add complication where it's not absolutely necessary at this point in time. I want to try to keep things a little bit simpler than they have been. Okay, yeah, so actually that's not going to be the best layout. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. All right, so let's do the induction furnaces. Yeah, I guess this is okay. All right, so this is going to be molten solder from tin and zinc. And then we can feed those like that. Okay, yeah, and then this doesn't have to recycle anything. I just need a steady supply of water. All right, so the closest water is over there. So let's make an offshore pump. Actually, I should revise these recipes now because my ratios are going to be different now that I'm not using coolant. Let's try this again. So solder coil using water. And these are Mark IIs. And we're doing 2 of those. Tin and zinc. And now I only need 1. Okay. Yeah, Mark IIs. And now I just need 1 Mark I induction furnace. Okay, so that is a considerable drop in throughput compared to the coolant method. And so now I'm thinking maybe I should just do the coolant method. All right, we're doing coolant. It might take me it might take me a couple episodes to get this done. All right, but we're going to do it with coolant. Okay, so we have fresh coolant in, and then there's another line for the used coolant coming out. Where should I put the cooling tower? Let's see here. Yeah, that's used. And then that's the fresh coolant coming in. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I think maybe I need to do this in stages. Yeah, let me make 2 more cooling towers. Sorry, I've not done this before, but the fact that there's 3 recipes from 300 to 200 to 100 makes me think that this is meant to be a multi-stage process. All right, so cool from 300, and then that probably cools at 100 degrees, and then cool from 200, and then cool from 100, and that should get it down to 50. Okay. All right, so I need used coolant in, and I need water in. And then I'm going to get steam out. Okay. I'm going to move these over again. All right, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'll just leave 3 spaces in between each one. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then 2, and then 1. And then once I get a layout that seems good, then we can go from there. Okay, so this takes coolant between 285 and 315, and I can't see what it gives me. Do I need another one? Yeah, I guess maybe I do need another one. All right, these are in water treatment, just so I can remember. All right, 1, 2, 3. And then maybe purified, and then purified water is the last one. So where do I get fresh coolant? Shouldn't there be an output for good coolant at the end? Oh, okay. All right, so it looks like for that I need a filtration unit. All right, so let's make a filtration unit and see what we can learn from that. And I assume this is going to give me a specific temperature I need to work with. Okay. Right. So I can do this with a coal filter or a ceramic filter, and it doesn't seem as if there's any difference. So let's see what a ceramic filter takes. Ceramic filter uses alumina, which I have here already. All right, so we'll do this with ceramic filters. All right, so let me pick that up. So this should be the cooled down stuff coming out here. 1, 2, 3. All right, and we'll make this with ceramic filter. All right, so I need ceramic. Oh, okay, cool. I can just use regular filter frames for the ceramic filters. Filter frame. Okay, let me get more iron and steel. And I'm just going to handcraft a bunch of filter frames because they're going to be reused. Let's see, I got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. We'll just do 50 of them. That's probably more than we need. Okay. All right, so now let's run our used coolant out. Okay, no, it only needs to come up here because then from here it's going to go from one of these to the next. And I need more stone pipes. Okay. So that's the cycle for the used coolant. And then the steam I can turn into, well, the steam I can turn into purified water, but then what am I going to do with it? I don't have any use for purified water over here, do I? Oops. I wonder if I can I make regular water from purified water? There's purified water. Yeah, see, so either way I need to bring water over here. All right. So well, we're already doing it, so let's do it with the coolant. But either way I need to bring plain water here. So let's get a pipe set up with plain water. Why am I making so much zinc? All right. Now let's see. Where do I want to run this pipeline? Things are pretty busy up here, so I don't want to do it there. I think I'll put it right here. Is that going to get in the way? Well, I can always move this later if that is in the way. Oops. Okay. And then like up here would be good. All right, so I'll just run it up from here. Okay, excellent. Okay. Oh no. That was dumb. I gotta pick up all those pipes. All right, let's pick up those pipes. I broke it. All right, so let's move this over. All right. Water, 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 and water, water. All right, and then I don't know if I can, I don't think I can flare steam. At least it doesn't seem like it would be very realistic to do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this into purified water and clarify it. Because I've already got more purified water than I know what to do with. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. And then this will give us clean coolant on the outside. Which we will run back down to our inputs here. Like so. And actually, I'm going to use I'm going to use my inline tank, and I'm going to put a pump on the output. And I'm going to put a non-return valve on the input, as I've been taught to do. Okay, and the reason for this is that I'm going to need another one to bring in barrels of fresh coolant. So I'll hook up the barreling pump right there as well. On second thought, I'm not going to use the tank. All right, so this way we'll only use what is absolutely needed. So I'll put a non-return valve. No. Now I want to use the underflow valve because I want to prioritize. Right, so we will only use the fluid pump or the unbarreling pump when but then again, I don't think I want the unbarreling pump right there. I'd rather have that where I'm going to bring in the coolant, which will be over here, I think. Now I have this set up as a provider station, so I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have to reconfigure this to be a station that has barrels. So let me get another barreling pump. And we'll set this up like we did down here for the acid. All right, and I'm going to have to do this in stages since this is reversed. What a mess. Actually, I'm not even really using any of this circuitry. And I have a bunch of carbon in here that I'm not even using. I got to get that carbon out of there. Get rid of my stuff so I can carry it all. There we go. All right, and then the carbon goes over here. Okay, so let's copy. I'll just copy this basic layout here for now until I see, whoops, how it's going to work up top here. All right, now using this for coolant means that I'm going to have to put more plates in these other ones. But that shouldn't be a problem because I have plenty of space in these warehouses. Yeah. So I can add another 3 or 4. Well, of course, then if I start to do that, I'm going to start to get a lot more traffic at each individual station. And that could be a problem. So I think I need a separate way to bring in the coolant. or I just scrap the coolant altogether and just do it with water. Yeah. No, I'm not giving up. Sorry about that, guys. I'm kind of going back and forth here. I apologize for that. Let's see. All right. Yeah, we can use the blueprint like that, I suppose, if we get rid of everything except the bare bones of it. All right, so I'm going to, yeah, you know what, just pick up everything. Okay, and then this we need to change to coolant barrels. Okay, and then empty barrels out as we had before. So this is going to be smelting coolant. You know, because there's probably going to be other stuff that that we want to use coolant for too over in this area. So I think this is a good investment in time. At least that's my hope that it will be. All right. So now let's copy this portion. Minus that. I don't think I need the warehouse to warehouse balancer in this case. Okay. All right, and then these are going to unbarrel coolant. Very good. Get rid of that. Okay. And then we need to set this up as a receiver station. All right, so I'm going to copy that. I need 2 combinators. That one goes there, and then how many am I requesting down here for acid? 400. All right, so I'll request 400 barrels of coolant. Okay, and then I need to connect actual inventory to that and hook that up to the green light. And hook that up to the green light. All right, no station supplying coolant barrel found, and that's fine because we're not making it yet. That'll be coming up next. All right, so here's our line of coolant. Going into that underflow valve. All right. Oh, and then we'll need to get this stuff out of here as well. So let's see where we can fit in some inserters. And actually, yeah, that's okay. I think one slow inserter. Oh no, actually we do need fast inserters. Okay, so let's replace those. And then we're just going to make them longer. So if I hit Shift L, that automatically extends those. And then we can have those on a belt. Actually, we're using red belt over here now. And then we're going to change the offset on that one. Okay. Yeah, I don't need that. We do need a few lights over here, though. There we go. All right, and this is going to be solder, which I think I can bring over here. Solder coils, actually. There we go. 40,000. Yeah, okay. Fine. We'll do 40,000. Oops. All right. Okay. So, we're out of time. Next step, of course, will be to start making coolant back in the main base and putting it on the train network so that we can get out of here. So we'll get to that when we come back. And hopefully this will work. This is going to be my first time doing strand casting. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.